Houday Nation, happy Tuesday. Welcome into Bengals Breakdown. I am your host, Stone Shields. Appreciate you guys joining me this afternoon as the Bengals are less than a day away from officially getting their preparations underway for the Kansas City Chiefs in what should be a great late Sunday afternoon showdown in Kansas City. By the way, if you see me looking down throughout today's show, just bear with me. Doing a little solo producing here right now, so just trying to do multiple things at once. So appreciate your guys' patience with me. But we got a fun show planned out for you guys here today. We're going to give you a little update on Tee Higgins. Is he going to be able to go against the Kansas City Chiefs on Sunday, or is he in danger of potentially missing his second straight game? Also, a particular ESPN analyst had some strong remarks in regards to the Bengals offense, so we will make sure to check those out. And this time of year, Bleacher Report's always putting out some rumors/suggestions for all 32 teams in the NFL at the beginning of the week. Kind of just a recap on what went wrong in the prior game, and they put out some suggestions. So we'll be taking a look at that a lot throughout the season, and we will start doing that here this afternoon on today's show. But before we dive into that, make sure you guys hit that like button for me right now. As you can tell, we are in a like battle against our Ravens channel here at Chat Sports. Joey Peterson doing a phenomenal job being the host of Ravens Rundown. We got them in the month of August in our like battle. We're running it back here against Joey and the Baltimore Ravens. And we got another September like battle. And we have a slight edge here. But the Ravens, they're being pesky. They're competing. They had a really good watch party. So we need to keep up the pace, keep hitting that like button for us, as you should for every single one of our videos that you watch here at Bengals Breakdown. All right, so Tee Higgins, his status for Sunday is still up in the air at this point. But Adam Schefter did say that he believes that he would be surprised if Tee Higgins were to suit up for the Bengals on Sunday. And really, this is just so unfortunate because it's kind of just popped up out of nowhere, right? This injury for Tee Higgins. It was a late in the week injury right up before the Bengals opener this past Sunday. He missed Thursday, of course, and then missed the walk through Friday. So you really got a feel for this guy. I mean, look, he's been trying to kind of shake the notion that he is an injury-prone guy, and he's had hamstring trouble in the past. And unfortunately for him, he gets another hamstring issue. Again, the Bengals aren't going to want to rush him back from that because, you know, those hamstring injuries can linger. Really dreaded injuries to have. So we'll see if he's able to go on Sunday. But, man, the Bengals really need him. When you take a look at what their receivers did this past weekend, without him, they really didn't do much. They really struggled throwing the football, and they really couldn't force the ball down the field whatsoever. Most of their offense was kind of just dink and dunk. It was a lot of 3-yard, 4-yard stuff. Didn't really even attempt to push the field that much. And I think that looks a lot different if Tee Higgins is out there with the Cincinnati Bengals. Those are some of the numbers that you see there on the screen that the Bengals were able to put up Sunday. And ultimately, when you're getting that kind of production out of your receiving core, you're probably not going to win many games at the professional level. So will Tee Higgins play Sunday? That is the pinned comment of today's video. So if that ad comes here on YouTube, that's totally fine. Take advantage of it. Get down in the comments section and let us know what you think. Type Y for yes or N for no. Again, on Wednesday, Zac Taylor will speak at a press conference. So we will get probably some more information, hopefully, about Tee Higgins. Right now, I'm unfortunately leaning with an N here myself because, you know, just kind of with Adam Schefter, I'd be really surprised to see him out there. But sound off for us in the comments of today's video. All right, so Dan Orlovsky was very critical of the Bengals offense earlier this week. Dan Orlovsky does a phenomenal job covering the NFL for ESPN, is a phenomenal analyst. Of course, he is played long time in the NFL with the Lions and a couple of other teams as well. And his insight is really, really good. And I thought he brought up some really great points about what the Bengals exactly were struggling with on Sunday and just kind of just being disappointed that this is the product that they have put out on the field, considering all of the talent that they have out there, especially with their quarterback, Joe Burrow. We will dive into exactly what Orlovsky said in a moment. But first, I want to give a shout out to our friends over at Gametime, because today's show is presented by Gametime. Gametime has a new feature called Gametime Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Gametime Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Gametime Picks is the easiest way to find and buy tickets to live events. I get Reds tickets all the time with Gametime. It's an incredibly straightforward process, and I get my tickets immediately with zero stress. You can enjoy the football season by getting tickets to watch either the Cincinnati Bengals or the Cincinnati Bearcats, a couple of local football teams. My two favorite features on Gametime. First up, the all-in pricing. Toggling this feature allows you to see your total up front so you don't get any surprise fees at checkout. Also, the seat views. Get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy with Gametime. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Again, terms apply. Create an account, redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Gametime today. What time is it? It's game time. All right, so here's exactly what Dan Orlovsky had to say. Let's take a look at what he said about the Bengals offense. He said, "I expected something different. I expected something more than catch and throw football. They don't have tight ends that can block in the run game. The timing of their offense is not good. They play spread out shotgun football and think that they're going to drive down the field 50 plays at a time for 4 yards a catch. I thought it was going to get something different out of this offense. I know it's one game, but I'm so freaking frustrated watching this offense play football when all they do is line up in the shotgun and throw 4-yard routes." And really totally get this frustration from Orlovsky. This is an offense that has the ability to be so much more dynamic than what they have been to this point through one game. Taking a look at the numbers here from Joe Burrow, the completion percentage is fine. Joe Burrow is going to complete a lot of passes, but 164 yards, you got to find a way to push the football down the field a little bit more. Joe Burrow, of course, has proven that he can do that in the past, and that's why he's is tied for being the highest paid quarterback in the National Football League. The Bengals need him to help them overcome some issues. It's not always going to be perfect for Burrow. That's why he's getting paid the big bucks. He needs to be able to overcome situations when they arise. And look, I love Joe Burrow just as much as anyone, but I feel like people are always hesitant around here, the city of Cincinnati, to place blame on Joe Burrow. I think Joe Burrow deserves a good chunk of this blame for how things went on Sunday. Again, he has to be able to overcome things. He's not getting paid to be a game manager. He's getting paid to be one of the most elite quarterbacks in the National Football League. And again, we've seen him do that. So there's no concern from my end that he's no longer going to have the ability to do those types of things. I totally think he will. It's just a matter of, getting used to, being back out there. Of course, he had the wrist injury that, he had been dealing with last year. And for whatever reason, him and the Bengals get off to slow starts in September. Thought that was going to turn around this year, but that certainly wasn't the case. So what is your confidence level in the Bengals offense? Scale it for us 1 to 10 in the comment section of today's video. Before last week, I was like, this is really confident. I even said, even if Jamar Chase doesn't play, this of course was before we knew that Tee Higgins wasn't going to play. But, I thought the Bengals could be really dynamic even without Chase. And, after that game, you kind of take a step back and get, there's definitely some concern that comes with their performance offensively on Sunday. So let us know in the comments. Scale it for us 1 to 10. All right, so Bleacher Report, throughout the year, after game days, they're going to release some suggestions on what all the teams should do. And they suggested that the Bengals should add a wide receiver. Look, I completely disagree with this. I don't think it is a wide receiver issue whatsoever in terms of the reasoning for why the Bengals struggled so much last week. I think the guys that they have on their roster are very competent receivers. We'll break down the depth chart here in a moment, but they suggested that they signed Jason Brownlee off the Jets practice squad. Brownlee played a little bit last year, as you can tell, 5 receptions, 56 yards, and a score. I don't believe he played in the 2024 preseason. And it would just be unnecessary to me to bring in some random guy from a practice squad when you have all the guys that are on your roster or your own practice squad that have banked reps with the quarterbacks on your football team and are familiar with your scheme. And again, I don't think it is a wide receiver issue. I think it's an issue of maybe the game plan isn't where it needs to be. How about we get the ball in our playmakers' hands a little bit earlier on in the game? For starters, Jamar Chase didn't touch the ball until it felt like a couple of drives in. If you're a play caller, you have to get the ball in your best player's hands immediately. And I don't think Zac Taylor did a great job of that this past weekend. I have belief in these guys that you see on the screen and the guys below them as well. We, of course, didn't see Jermaine Burton. I think some people were a little bit frustrated by that, but he's got to prove that he's a professional and he can handle the life of being a professional football in terms of his study habits and his preparation. And from those around the team, it doesn't seem like he's had the ability of doing that to this point. Also, Charlie Jones. Of course, his fumble came on special teams, but you got to find a way to hold on to the football. That's something that can translate to offense as well. Maybe that's the reason why he only had one catch in the game, or at least a contributing factor. Would have liked to see Trenton Irwin try to get more involved, but you also have to understand he's not the most athletic guy in the world, so you got to scheme up different kinds of routes for him to be able to get him the football. But Andrei Iosivas, I think, is going to be an outstanding receiver for the Bengals. I think people outside the team are sleeping on him. And I think maybe that's why Bleacher Report suggested they bring in a receiver, because they don't fully understand the capabilities that Iosivas has. But overall, I'm very confident in this room. It's just something that Joe Burrow is going to have to play a little bit better, obviously, a lot better. And Zac Taylor is going to have to come up with a better game plan. I think they have the pieces in place to be effective offensively. Defensively, that's a whole different story, but we'll save that for another show. Make sure you guys hit that sub button right now if you haven't done so already. Our content here at Bengals Breakdown is absolutely free. We have nearly daily Bengals videos for you guys, sometimes multiple times a day. So you don't want to miss out on that. Also, we have watch parties every game day as well. If you haven't been a part of our watch parties yet to this point, you are missing out. Make sure you stop by next week for Chiefs versus Bengals on Sunday, late afternoon, that 4:25 slot.